Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to another live. Good to have you. Glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you. My name is Eric, Smart Money Bro. And on this channel, guys, we talk about money. We talk about the US economy. We talk about inflation. We talk about the latest things that's happening with jobs and how that affects us as consumers and investors. We talk about money management. We talk about growing your money, investing your money. We talk about all things money, right? That's what we talk about on this channel, guys. Now, today, I want to have a conversation about how to think a little different with money so you can stop wasting so much money. And we're all victim to it, right? We all have it all happens to that happens to a lot of us, right? Nobody's perfect with money. We all make mistakes with money, but the key is how do we not keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again with money? Stop wasting money and think different. Guys, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Let me know what city and state you guys are coming in from. I appreciate you being here as always, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time in America, right? I'm in America. Where are you guys at? Somebody says in Philly suburbs. Good to have you here, Grayman, as usual. Chris Style, hey, what's up? Good afternoon, everyone, from one of my favorite things to say in the world, Boynton Beach, Florida. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Salute. Good to have you here. The Bat Cave is checking in. Good afternoon. Good morning for me. It's still morning for me. Let's see. Thanks for the thumbs up. Listening from Hong Kong, Sharice. Good to have you here. Heard a lot of good things about Hong Kong. Rockford, Illinois is checking in. Dwayne, how you doing? Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it might be a different day over there in Hong Kong. So, how do you think about money, guys? This is what we want to talk about. This is the topic, and I know some of you might have read some books on this stuff, but I want to have this live conversation with you. Sounds like you guys can hear me. So I'm going to take that off so I don't keep hearing myself, right? Adjust my hat. Boom, boom, boom. Somebody asked me before, why do I never take my hat off? No particular reason, guys. I'm bald headed, a bald head man. So no particular reason. I just like wearing a hat. So good to have you here. North Carolina's here. Queens, New York is here. Lawrence, Kansas, right around the corner. Not too bad. Hey, good to have you. I went to Kansas State University, Ty, so don't hold it against me if you're a KU alum or KU person, right? Queens, New York is in the house. Vallejo, California. Good to have you. So we got people from all over, guys. Glad to have you. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay because I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. All right. I think I'm still good. Michigan is checking in. Guys, how do you think about money? Smash the like button as you come in. We're going to have this conversation and just get into it a little bit, guys, because, I really believe that the way you think about money affects everything. Okay. It affects everything, right? Everything starts in the mind first, right? The imagination, what you have in your mind, everything around you. I don't care if you're sitting right there and you're at a desk. I don't care if you're in a car. I don't care if you're wherever you are, a living room, a couch, whatever, on the floor. Everything around you started in the imagination first. That's how it that's how it became or came to fruition, right? Came into existence because of this your thinking. Everything starts here. You could be watching this on your cell phone. Somebody had to think about how to construct that cell phone and put that app there, put that function in here, make it look this way. It all started in somebody's imagination, somebody's mind. Everything starts in the mind. So when I look at your checkbook, or we look at your savings or your investments, all of that started here, or else it wouldn't be out in front of us, right? It has to start somewhere. So, how you handle money, what you do with your money, whether or not you have money or you don't have money, all of that starts in your brain, in your head, right? If you're not thinking right, you're not going to be behaving right in terms of money, right? We're talking about money, right? So it starts in your mind. There's a certain psychology around money, around thinking about money. And a lot of us, we just act and react. Really, we react with money a lot, right? A lot of us are, proactive, but a lot of times we're reacting with money. Something happens, we got to pay. Something happens, we got to have money. Instead of saying, you know what? Let me think this thing through ahead of time. Let me think this thing through before something happens. Let me get the psychology, the thinking right in my mind about money right? So that we can, build better spending habits, right? Stop wasting so much money because, and I know a lot of people say, well, I don't waste any money. I spend everything I get. But there's a lot of people out here that don't have that discipline, right? And so for a lot of folks, we need to change the way we think so that we change the way we behave with money, right? You can't just say, okay, I'm gonna, I'm gonna I want to be a millionaire. You got to first figure out a plan to get there, and you got to start changing your thinking so that you change your habits, and you now have habits that are going to lead to you being a millionaire. But if you're 45 years old, 50 years old, and you don't have any money and you never change your thinking, you're never going to have any money because you have to change your thinking first, right? It all starts in the brain, guys. So I'm going to go over a few things. Let me run through the chat here. Good to have you from Maryland, AJ. Daryl Cherry, I watched that only investing in ETF video daily. Yeah, I'm a big ETF index fund guy. Let's see here. Can you tell me more detail? Kimmy, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Ty says he supports both Wildcats and Jayhawks. I like that in you. I like that in you. Let's see here. I watched that. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Hey, Kuwait is checking in the house. Good to have you all the way from Kuwait. Wow, that's a long way away, but I appreciate you being here. Hey, Gary said, I appreciate the way you preach about our principles of money. I'm reading the chat, but you guys can read the chat too. I'm going to read to you. Let me see here. Yeah, how it starts in our brain. That's been a catalyst, guys. It's very, very important. Good afternoon for Columbus, Ohio, Lanita. Good to have you. Lanita Cheatham. Good to have you. So, yes, guys, in the brain, budgeting tactics, money saving life hacks, whatever they are, right? Whatever it is, you got to stop wasting money. So you got to start thinking differently with money, right? Whether you're just starting out, you're 20 years old, you're watching this, and you're just now managing your money independently by yourself, right? For the first time, managing your own finances, right? It's good to develop these habits early, right? These habits, as soon as you develop them, the sooner you develop them in life, the longer they can actually be in effect in your financial life, right? Maybe you're looking to escape some type of, money mentality that you picked up as a kid, right? Because for most of us who don't think about these things, we're just doing what we were taught to do. We were just behaving with money and around money how we were conditioned to do, right? And we just picked it up and we never changed it. We never thought about it, right? We just start doing what our parents did. Our parents were frugal. We're frugal. Our parents were big spenders. We're big spenders. Our parents wanted to get us the nicest, newest outfit for the first day of school. We want to get the nicest, newest outfit for the first day of school or the first day of work, right? Whatever it may be, right? We just kind of mimic and do what we're taught to do unless we say no. We're going to go on a detour. We're going to do something different. We're going to do something a little more healthier for our finances. Look, the way you thought up to now, up to today, whatever today's date is that you're watching this video, whatever you thought about money up to this date has led you to where you are with money up to this date. If you look at your bank account, your investments and all that, and you don't own any real estate, you have $10,000 in investments and you're 35 years old, you got $10,000 of investments, you owe $80,000 on student loans, on cars, on whatever. Wherever you are, it's based on how you have thought about money to this point right now today. You got to get that through your head, guys. That's really, really important. Okay. How you thought about money till today is where you are with money today is the result of how you thought about money, period. Now, if you think differently, you're going to have different outcomes. But if you keep thinking the way you've always thought, you're going to have the same outcomes, right? Just point blank. Guys, you got to smash that like button for me when you come in. When we have these conversations, guys, it's really important to hit the like button. And please share the link to this video with somebody who guys, who is maybe looking to get better with their money, trying to work on their money, trying to build their finances, want to get better with their money. And getting better with your money really transfers over into other areas of your life, right? You know, when you get better with money, you begin to be a little more stringent on your time, right? Time management, right? A lot of different principles flow into managing your money properly, right? It's not just money, but maybe you eat a little bit different. Maybe you think a little bit different, a little more positive. Maybe you work on your spiritual life, whatever it may be. When you start getting control of your personal finances, you feel better. You breathe better, right? There's a certain positivity that trickles down into other areas of your life when you do that, guys. So, what I want to do is give you a few things to think about in terms of how you can stop wasting money. Think differently about money so you can stop wasting money. And we all have been at the point where we've wasted some money. Let's just keep it real, right? Let's just keep it real. So I want to jump into that. I want to say first, guys, this is brought to you today by my partner in crime, Mint Mobile, right? Premium wireless service for less. We talk about being a little more frugal and being more conscious and conscientious about how we spend money on this channel. And Mint Mobile, you can save a lot of money at Mint Mobile. I guarantee you guys. Because and the reason I say that is because they don't have the box stores and the workers and everybody out there they got to pay, and they pass that cost on to that savings on to me and you, the end consumer, right? The ones that's actually purchasing their end product, which is their premium wireless service plan. So there'll be a link to that down low in the description box if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, go over to YouTube, check it out. There's a link to Mint Mobile down there. If you've used Mint Mobile in the past, guys, drop it in the chat. Or if you use it right now, drop it in the chat, right? I haven't had any problems with them at all, and I've been on there for 3 or 4 months, maybe 4 months. So that's also in the description box. You got 24 Laws of Money, a free ebook from me to you, 24 laws that help me build my wealth from a negative $30,000 to a 7-figure net worth. All right. That's down in the chat below as well, in the description box below as well on YouTube, guys. First things this, guys. Well, let me just check real quick. Good morning, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Curtis is in the house, right? Let's see. Far more is caught than ever can be taught. Dwayne, you ain't lying there. Guthrie, Oklahoma's here too. Bonnie, glad to have you here. Let's see. Hey, Robert Hill, good to have you, buddy. Far more. Let's see here. I missed a few of them, guys, but that's all right. All right, let's jump into it, guys. Memphis 10 in the house. Antoine, good to have you here from Shelby County in Memphis, Tennessee. All right, make sure you smash the like button when you get there, Antoine. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and remove the banner, guys. I want to get that off there. Bap. All right, so number one is this. In order to think differently about money so that you stop wasting money, the first thing you should think about or consider doing, guys, is giving your money some purpose. Giving your money a set thing to do. Tell your money exactly what to do. Now, this sounds pretty elementary, right? But it's a lot more uncommon for people to do this than you think. Telling the money where to do. Now, I say this quite a bit on this channel because I talk about budgeting, right? Same concept, right? I like to say, listen, before you get going on this money journey, or even if you're in the middle of this money journey, stop what you're doing, pause, and set yourself some goals for your money. In other words, when you set goals, you're less likely to spend frivolously, right? When you set goals, right? Because you have a clear place to go. Goals, this is what goals do for you, man. Money goals do this for you. Money goals will really help guide your money decisions, right? Because if it doesn't line up with your goals, you just don't do it. If it lines up with your goals, you do it, right? So it's kind of like a guardrail. You know what goals are kind of like a guardrail. And when I say money goals, let's be clear. A money goal is not I want to make more money by the end of the year. I want to make more money. That's not a money goal. That's just a pie in the sky dream, right? A goal is specific with time and amount. I want to have $15,000 in my savings account for my emergency fund by December 31st. That is a goal. It's specific, it has money, and it has time. That's what a goal is, right? If you give your money a goal and you write the goal down, you're more apt to achieve it. Studies show, many studies, right? We can talk about MIT, University of Michigan, you name the study, right? You write down a goal, you're more apt to achieve it. Some say 40% more. 60% more apt to achieve it, but the studies are out there that shows that you're more apt to achieve it if you actually write it down. Things are dendrites and synapses are connecting when you write stuff down, and so it matters, right? But it's just a point of making sure that you understand the importance of writing down a goal. Where do you want to be with your money? That's going to help guide your decisions with money, and it's going to help you to stop wasting money, right? Concrete goals, right? Very important. Very important. I don't care if the goal is something like, I got to get a new refrigerator, right? Your refrigerator's going out in your home or wherever you live, and you're responsible for the refrigerator. If you're not in an apartment or something like that, you have you got to get a new refrigerator. That's your goal. I need to save up $2,000 to buy a brand new refrigerator by September 25th. That's a goal. That's a financial goal, right? So it could be anything, but let me caution you a little bit on goals. Don't make 10 or 15 money goals. It's too much. It's too much, right? As they say down south, too much. You don't have to have that many money goals. Okay, it's not necessary, guys. You need to have just a few goals. See, if you have too many goals, you'll never you'll be grasping at them forever. You'll never achieve them. You got to see a little bit of success with your money. So make a short-term goal. I want to have, $1,000 in my emergency fund, or I want to increase my emergency fund from, $10,000 to $15,000 by July 1st, right? Whatever it may be, because you want to see some success with your money. The success you have, the short successes you have with your goals is what's going to spur you to make larger and bigger goals, right? And so there's nothing wrong with having big goals, right? But I'm just saying, make them only a few. Please don't have a whole bunch of goals. You just need a few at a time. You can have some larger goals, some more long-term goals, right? Good morning from Romania, way over in Europe. Wow, good to have you. Manhattan, New York is in the house. Appreciate you being here. Yes, give your money a goal, right? It'll help you stop wasting money. I hate to say guarantee, but trust me on this, guys. I've done it for a lot of years. It really, really makes a difference when you have a few money goals and some that are short term, some that are long term. And then here's the other kicker. Let me say this about goals because I got to mention this, right? It's one thing just to have a goal, right, with your money. So your money has a purpose, right? But it's another thing to make sure that you have daily and weekly action steps tied to each goal. Don't make a money goal and not hold yourself responsible for something regarding that money goal. If the money goal is to save up $15,000 in my emergency fund by December 31st, what are you going to be doing on a daily and weekly basis to reach that goal? That needs to be written down too. So there's goal 1, action step, action step, action step, action step. There's goal 2, action step, action step, action step, action step. This is written down. This is on your screensaver on your cell phone, or your screensaver on your laptop, your screensaver on your computer at work, your on your refrigerator, on your wall where you work at home, right? Whatever it may be. You got to do this on a regular basis and have some action steps, please. Don't just make a goal. Make action steps with those goals. 3 or 4 or 5 things you're going to do daily, right? This is how you got to start thinking when you want to start winning with money, right? You got to start thinking in a way that is a system, a way that is something that you can do on a regular basis to get better and better and better. But you got to make it up for you. I can't necessarily make it up for you. You got to make it up for you. Now, you can take my advice on these things and do these things I'm telling you to do, but it has to be about you. I'm not going to be there holding your hand, and nobody else will. You have to do it for yourself. All right. Short-term, long-term goals. Separate. That's the second way to stop wasting money. Start thinking differently about money, right? Thinking deeper about money is you got to do this, guys. You got to separate money from emotions, right? You got to separate money from emotions, right? Emotions like anxiety, stress, depression, guilt, right? Happiness is an emotion. You got to separate money from those emotions, guys. You really, really do. Stop using money as a coping mechanism by which your spending It's tied to your emotions. You're happy, you go spend money, you go to the mall, you go window shop, right? Don't allow money to be tied to your emotions. We get that a lot when, even in like investing, when people are investing money, they get their emotions tied up into the money. We use money to sort of distract us and kind of relieve us from other negative emotions, right? We use money as sort of a short term fix, right? But that's a bad habit. And it'll cause you to waste money because you're going to be spending money emotionally, right? Don't feel good about something, something's bothering you. Oh man, go out and spend money. Listen, get another, get a healthy reaction. Every time you feel a certain emotion, grab a carrot, right? Every time you feel a certain emotion, eat fruits, eat vegetables, do something, walk, go to the gym, right? Get a habit that's tied to your emotions that's a positive habit because your emotions are going to be up, they're going to be down, they're going to be all over the place. And so if you get a positive habit and attach that to your emotions, you're going to come off better as opposed to attaching money to your emotions, right? Very important, guys. Very important way to think about money. A lot of times, guys, to be honest with you, we use money, but we don't think about money. We use money, but we never really figure out what's going on in our brain about money, right? We use money every single day, but we don't know why. Why are we using money in the way we're using that money, right? Two people could start off at the same point at the age of 15, and by the time one of them's age 40, they got plenty of money, and the other one doesn't have any money. What was it in terms of the thinking that led to the poor behaviors or led to the good behaviors with money, right? Because how you think about money is not just about poor behaviors. It's about a lot of people are doing really good with money because of how they think with money, right? But just remember, guys, money, hear me out. We got to get this in our spirit. Money, there's one big emotion there's a lot of emotions that we need to untether money from, but the one big one is happiness. Happiness is an emotion, right? Where you feel elated, right? But money cannot buy you happiness, folks. Let's keep this 100. Money cannot buy you happiness. Okay? Very important. Very, very important, right? Money can't buy happiness. I keep saying that, I keep repeating it because it's so, so true. All right? Money can't buy everything. Money can't buy you name it, right? Money can't buy you respect, right? Money can't buy you loyalty, right? Money doesn't buy the happiness that you may feel if you have peace, right? Money doesn't money can't buy everything, right? And money should not be tied to the emotion called happiness. Okay, very important, guys. This is what I like to say about happy. Happy is temporary. Goes up, you're happy. Goes down, you're not happy. Goes sideways, you're sort of happy. Maybe happy. It comes and goes. Happy is temporary, guys. Right? Don't make money okay, how should I say this? I'll say it like this. Don't turn money into the currency of your emotions, if that makes any sense, right? Don't turn money into the currency that is driven by or does the driving of your emotions. Okay? Very important, guys. Separate those two things. We got to think clearly and logically when it comes to money, not blurred by emotions when it comes to money. Okay. Yeah, I said money can't buy everything. We know that. Money can't buy you wisdom. Money can't buy you name it. Money can't buy you a missed opportunity, right? Money doesn't buy you I don't know, name it. Beauty, right? Money doesn't buy beauty. You can think it buys beauty, right? but it doesn't buy beauty, right? Money doesn't buy kindness. We can name a whole bunch of things that money don't buy, and it certainly doesn't buy happiness, right? It really doesn't. Separate money from your emotions, because you'll find yourself depressed and spending a bunch of money. You'll find yourself happy and spending and wasting a bunch of money, spending money on stuff. Listen, I watched the show Hoarders, right? I don't know if you guys saw that, watch that show or not, but that show called Hoarders, where people just buy stuff and they hoard stuff up and they buy it, right? I've had, look, I own rental properties. I've had tenants who you could see when they went through something very, very emotional, job loss, child loss, you name it. When they go through something emotional, then they become hoarders, right? Next thing you know, I go over the house or visit the house and talk to them. And next thing you know, they got all kind of stuff around the house because they're going through something emotional. So they're out spending and buying, and they're storing stuff and keeping stuff, right? And they're out purchasing and buying and buying and buying, and they're doing it out of emotion, right? So we want to use logic when we're dealing with money, when we're dealing with personal finances. Try to use logic. Here's another emotion. Fear is an emotion. And a lot of people, they miss out on things because of fear, right? But we got to be logical. I'll talk about fear in a little bit. We got to be logical. How do you do this? Think of, okay, one thing you got to do is think about how you were taught with money as a young person, how you were brought up with money. I said that earlier. But also, you could do something like this. You could use the 30-day rule, right? I like the 30-day rule for large purchases. I like more like a 5 or 10-day rule for smaller purchases. What I mean by that is just simply, guys, just wait 30 days. If it's a large purchase, you're not sure you want to get it, you don't know if you want to spend that $500 or $600 on that, just wait 30 days. See what happens after 30, 4 weeks, right? If it's a smaller purchase, maybe an $80 purchase, $100 purchase, and you're not sure if you want to get it, maybe it doesn't line up with the goals you set for yourself, give it 5 days, 5 or 10 days, right? That way you can kind of get out of, because again, emotions go up and down. Day one, when you're looking at the item in the store and you're right there because you're window shopping, the emotions are high. You want it, you want it, you want it. But if you leave and wait 5 days, guess what happens? The emotions change. So now your emotions gone down, and now you may not be in that same euphoria type state where you want it, you want it, you want it, you got to have it. That's why I never window shop, right? Very, very rarely, I would say very rarely, do I window shop unless I know that I'm going to buy something. I really don't go window shopping because that will trigger emotions. That will trigger a feeling of, I want that. I got to have that, right? And you got to understand something, guys. When you start winning with money, you're going to have money. And so you're going to be at a point one day, guys, when you got $200 in your pocket and you can go ahead and get whatever you want in the store almost, right? But you got to have enough discipline and use rules to keep yourself in check so you don't spend emotionally. Another thing you can do so you don't spend emotionally, or so you don't, so you can think more logically with money, is track your expenses. Stay cognizant of what you spend. I challenge you to go 10 days in a row and write down everything you spend, every bill you write, everything you spend at the store, right? That takes emotion out of spending when you have to write down and track what you're spending, right? Because then when you get back to the car after you left the store, now you got to write it on your little notepad or you got to put it in your phone. Now you're thinking about it differently than you were when you were thinking emotionally about it, right? Remember, emotions come and go. They last for a short time. When you're tracking your stuff, you're catching your spending at times when you're not emotional, right? You're emotional in the store, looking at the shirt, looking at the shoes, but when you come out the store and you write it down what you spent money on, now you're not so emotional, and you get a chance to say, wait a minute, did I really just spend that much money on that item? Ooh, I don't know if that was smart or not. Right now you rethink it because now you put logic into the spending. Right? It makes it more rational when you got to write it down. Just some things to think about, guys. What I want to do on this channel is give you some things to think about. And on this video, think about. That's why the title of the video is how to think about money so you stop wasting money, right? Digging into the psychology of how we think about money, the mentality behind the spending, right? The mentality behind the bad credit, the mentality behind the poor behavior with money. There's a mentality around it. If you're not where you want to be financially and you don't have much money, it's because of your thinking. And it may not just be with money, right? It could be your thinking about your career, you're thinking about your jobs, you're thinking about other things, your those extra classes that you could have took and you didn't take, that certification you're thinking about all of that has led to where you are with money, right? Let me check. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button, guys. Help me out on the like button. Very important. Somebody said, I'll try like what you're saying. Thanks, Kim. Money needing a goal is a global need. My short-term goal is to pay off debt, long-term to stay out of debt. Newski, I need you, Newski. Don't just have a short-term goal to pay off debt. That ain't specific enough. Newski, you got to be specific. You got to be really, forget about my short-term goals. How much debt do you have and when do you want to pay it off by? That's the question on your short-term goal. Your long-term goal of stay out of debt, that's more like an aim, not necessarily a goal, but I appreciate that, Newski, for you sharing that. Somebody said, write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk, absolutely. Tied directly to my goals. I've struggled with this, so I need to work on it. Linda, I understand that. Dwayne, good to have you. Separate money from emotions, Robert. You're right. Emotion and money don't go together. They really, really don't. They don't even go together when you're investing money and trying to grow money, right? Try to be an emotional investor in the stock market. See what happens, right? You ain't going to get very far. You're going to be pulling your money out, putting your money in, pulling your money out. You're going to be selling at the wrong time, buying at the wrong time, and you ain't going to make nothing. If you're an emotional investor, you need to separate emotion from investing. Very important. Somebody says money cannot buy happiness. Nope. What money buys for me is freedom. Absolutely. I like that. I like that, Robert. Let's see. I appreciate the live. Pulse Reloaded. I appreciate you being here. Do you think money makes happiness? No, it doesn't. Not at all. Avoid emotion. And this is the key, guys. So let's go to number three. Third thing is this. When it comes to money, a good way to think about money so you stop wasting money is to be a long-term thinker when it comes to money. Okay. Long-term thinkers win when it comes to a lot of things in life, but they really win when it comes to money, big time, right? Money, investing, whatever. Think about being a long-term investor, right? You stay in the stock market for a long time. Guess what? The stock market goes up, right? If all you can see is the weekend, the concert coming up, the ball game 2 weeks from now, if all you can see is this short-term stuff. Now I'm being a little bit goofy when I say those things, but you understand what I'm saying, right? If you only see what's in front of you in terms of money, and you cannot fathom 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you may have a hard time building wealth. You probably are the person that needs to set it and forget it, and just set it and never look at it for 5 or 10 or 15 years. If you're that type of person that thinks short term, you got to be a long-term thinker, right? You got to think about your future and the future of the money you have today and what it can be tomorrow. I first got that lesson when I was 25 years old. I was a school teacher, and it was after school. They told me there's going to be an insurance guy coming around to talk to us, right? So this insurance guy comes around after school. I'm 24 years old, 25 years old, not thinking much about my future in terms of money. And he starts talking to me. This is 1995, guys. We wasn't on the internet like this. 1994, 95, he comes around, talks to me, and he starts showing me these compound interest tables. And he said, well, if you invest, this amount of money for this long, here's what you'll have. And these are real tables, right? This paper, this ain't internet. So he shows me, I say, man, he said, if it gains 7% interest, if it gains 5%, if it gains 9%, I say, wow, this is pretty neat right here. Whoa, this is cool right here. This is really cool. Now, what he did for me was he signed me up for an annuity that I ultimately got rid of. But what he did for me was he planted a seed in my brain. And so when I became, 30 years old and all that money came out of my my account that I had at the school district, all that money had accumulated, all my retirement money. Because when you're a school teacher in America, right, in each state, you got to automatically have some of your check go to your retirement. So when I left teaching, I said I had all this money. It was only like $10,000, right? But I had this money over here, and I said, "Wow, okay." So what he said was, "Let me go ahead now." Then I start working for the government. I said, "Let me see if I transfer this money over to the government." I remember this, he was talking about boom, boom, boom. Let me run it through the calculators right now. Boom. So then I ran it through the compound interest calculators, and I said, "Whoa, okay." See, he had planted that seed in me 5 or 6 years earlier, and then that stayed with me. And then I said, "Okay, now that's what compound interest is." Okay, so in 10 years, I'll have boom, boom, boom. This is like 2001, 2002. In 20 years, I'll have boom, boom, boom. And guess what? We've arrived. All the compound interest calculators I was looking at in the late 90s, 2002, 2003, that's 20 years ago. We've arrived. And guess what? That long-term thinking from way back then, what did that long-term thinking cause me to do? It caused me to subconsciously prepare for today, 20 years ago. That's why I say at the end of every video, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. When I was 30 years old, I was preparing for 50 years old, right? When I was 24, 25 years old, I didn't know it, but I was preparing for 55 years old, right? Long-term thinking will make you better with your money, and it'll cause you to stop wasting so much money today because you realize the potential future of the money today, right? I don't want to put $500 a month towards a car payment today because I know what $500 a month over 10 years really ends up being. $500 a month over the course of 10 years, ends up being, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, $60,000. I'm just going to plug it in and tell you, since I said it out loud. I would share my screen with you. But look, if I start off with zero today, I put $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. I give it 10 years to grow. I get 8% interest on it. That gives me $93,000. So after 10 years, I could have a paid for car that's worth about $10,000, or I could have a $90,000, $93,000 sitting in an account somewhere. Or if I got really aggressive and got really good and I got 9% interest on it, that might give me almost $100,000 in 10 years. You pay $500 a month for the car because you're thinking about, I got to have transportation now, today, this week, this weekend. I got to get around. So I'm going to pay $500 a month. And you do that, cool. And I'm thinking long term, 10 years from now, I take that $500 I invested every month. I got $100,000 in 10 years. You got a $8,000 car with some rust on it after 10 years, right? That's what wealth building is all about. I'm thinking long term. You're thinking short term. Two different mentalities took us to two different places. Two different mentalities took us to two different behaviors. Those behaviors gave us two different, completely different outcomes, right? In just 10 years, I'm $100,000 richer, and you got a $10,000, $8,000 car sitting over there. That's a 10-year-old car. Might be in great shape, but it ain't worth as much as my $100,000. How you think controls your behavior. Your behavior controls your outcomes with money. But you got to be thinking about the future, understanding that anything you do today affects tomorrow. That's in life, right? That's a principle. What you eat today is going to determine your health tomorrow, right? If you lift weights, the weights you lift today is going to take your muscle, it's going to break it down, and it's going to have a bigger muscle tomorrow, right? That's just nature. That's a principle. You plant a seed today, you plant some seeds today, you're going to get the harvest when? You ain't going to get it today. The harvest comes tomorrow. You invest your money today, you receive the benefits of investing, you get compound interest and growth, and then 10 years, the harvest comes. That's a principle. I didn't make the principle up. I'm not this good. I'm not that smart, but I'm just following the principle. If you just follow the principles, you'll stop wasting money, you'll have more money, right? You have to activate these principles. And that's all I give you guys on this channel, to be honest with you, is a bunch of principles that you need to apply towards money and that you can make work for you. Just principles, right? So let's go to another one. Okay, another thing, another way to how to think about money. Am I saying that right? Another way of how to think about another thing to think about money or way to think about money. So you stop wasting money. Is this, guys? Challenge yourself to be more disciplined. Start challenging. Create a challenge, right? How about the what's the one I saw? I saw several of them. The no spin challenge, right? Challenge yourself to see how long you can go without spending money. Right after you write your bills, right? Don't. You got to write your bill. But see how long you can go without spending money at a store, right? And I understand it, guys. Again, you walk into a store, you got $10 in your pocket. There's temptation to buy that Snicker, right? There's temptation to buy those M&Ms or those Doritos, whatever it may be, right? But see how long you can go without spending money on the non-essential stuff, though, right? Right? You got to spend some money to breathe, right? You got to pay your bills and stuff. But the non-essential stuff, can you cut out things like Amazon delivering a package to your house every day? Can you cut out Uber Eats, right? Or DoorDash coming to your, using DoorDash, right? Start small if you got to, right? But start seeing where you can cut out and seeing where you can be more disciplined with your money. Challenge yourself, the discipline, right? Start holding your, maybe, there's a lot of different challenges. We could go challenge versus challenge versus how about the cash challenge, right? Where you don't swipe your card. See if you can go a week without using your credit card and you just use cash only, right? And I'm telling you this, but I don't, as you guys know, you may know, may not know, I don't use credit cards, right? Right? I don't use credit cards. Haven't used credit cards in years and years and years. But maybe you want to do a cash challenge where you spend a month putting the things you want to spend in envelopes, right? Or setting a weekly spending limit for yourself, right? Maybe you can do a don't eat out challenge. Only eat what you cook and prepare at home for a week, 2 weeks. And I know for some of you saying, I cook at home all the time. Listen, there's a lot of people that at least 2 or 3 or 4 times a week, they go out to eat, right? Let's just be real about it. Maybe you start by making a real detailed grocery list and spending and more time prepping. Maybe you do what I do. One thing I do, guys, is if I leave the house, typically I'll take something from the house that will prevent me from buying something outside of the house, right? I've been known to take a meal out of the house, a leftover meal, and take it somewhere and heat it up at a microwave, at a gas station or something. Real talk. Call me weird or call me frugal, but it's true. Right? Because if I have a big old thing of spaghetti in there, maybe I know I'm going to maybe want to stop and get something to eat. Maybe I just take a bowl of spaghetti and take it with me and just have it in a bag or something, or even a lunch bag. Hey, have you ever taken a lunch bag out with you on a Saturday when you wasn't going to work, but you had food in it with fruit and spaghetti or whatever, because you know you can stop somewhere and heat it up and you can have something to eat and not spend money eating wherever you eat. Restaurant, Chipotle, McDonald's, whatever. It's just a way to get you to stop wasting so much money, which is what we're talking about. How to think differently so you stop wasting so much money. Listen, I know that some people leave the house at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. They go here, they go there, run this errand, go over here, visit this, and you're gone till 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and you want to eat. Bring your food. Stop just bringing your lunch to work and bring your lunch out with you when you leave the house. Every time you leave the house, try it for a week or 2 weeks, right? Giving you something to think about, to think differently so you stop wasting so much money, which is what this video was all about. Smash the like button, guys. Do me a favor, hit the like button for me. Share the link to the video. And if you're not a subscriber to this channel, please feel free to subscribe to my channel here, guys. We talk all things money. Being frugal, investing, right? Stock market, ETFs, index funds, whatever it may be. We also talk about how to manage money, right? Really key, management of money. We talk about giving. We talk about helping. We talk about saving. We talk about emergency funds. We talk about being more responsible. We talk about behavior. We talk all things money because the goal of this channel is to help regular, ordinary people be extraordinary with their money, right? The goal is to help you make more, spend more, save more, invest more. That's what the goal is, the overall mission. Real simple mission, guys, right? And I keep wiping my eyes, not because I'm crying, because I'm really emotional, but because I got these overactive tear ducts. I think it might be springtime allergies. I don't know. I never thought I had an allergy, right? But let's go to another one. Another thing you can do to think differently about money and stop wasting money is this: take some risk, folks. You gotta take some risk with your money. Now, I can really speak to this one because I'm a really risk averse person. Did a video a couple weeks ago talking about why I'm never going to be buying single stocks. Almost never will buy single stocks because I don't like the risk of single stocks. I enjoy ETFs and index funds. I remove a lot of the risk. I up my diversification and I remove the risk when I invest in index funds and ETFs because I'm a risk averse person, right? But wealthy people or people that grow wealth, they understand that risk is a part of life. And they don't try to avoid risk. They try to manage risk, right? They try to manage risk. And that's what I'm telling you. If you want to build wealth, understand what type of risk you want to take, right? You feel comfortable taking, right? And then try to manage the risk because when you try to avoid risk and you take money and you put it under your mattress, you're hurting yourself. You're losing money. You're not growing money when you take all your money and you put it in a savings account. You take $100,000 and you put it in a savings account down the street. Your inability to take risk will cause you to lose money, right? How many of you said in 2019, 2018, I'm not going to buy a house right now? No, I don't want to buy a house right now. I'm not sure. I'm waiting around. And guess what? 2020, 2021, real estate said, bam, went way up. You didn't want to buy that $200,000 house in 2018, and now that $200,000 house is $300,000. You could have got it in 2018 with a 3% mortgage on it, but you was nervous, you was scared, you had so much fear, and now you lost $100,000 because that property is worth $300,000, and rates are like 8, 6, 7% right now. How many of you know people that did that? I know people that did it, right? You have to be willing to take some risk, right? The key is this: people that are wealthy or do well with money, they know what the risks are. See, you get a lot of these YouTube channels on here talking about how to build wealth and how to make more money. They never talk to you about risk. There's risk involved with everything when it comes to money. You have to count the cost of the risk. You got to think about the risk. This is how you think about money so you stop wasting money. Think about the risk, right? You have to think about and plan and prepare and mitigate or manage the risk, right? You can't just say, I'm not going to invest in the stock market because it's too risky. Think about the different types of things you can invest in to mitigate those risks as opposed to staying out of the market completely, right? Things have hidden risk too, right? But everything regarding money has risk, and you have to understand the risk involved, right? But hey, think about it. Even if you say, hey, I have a full-time job. Listen, a full-time job is a risk. Believe it or not, it's a risk, right? You're going to miss out on important things going on in your family's life and your kids and your grandkids because you have to go to work. There's a risk involved with everything. Right? There's a risk involved with working for an employer because they can lay you off. They can get rid of you. They don't need you anymore. Right? There's a risk to not investing your money. Right? You possibly could lose money. There's a risk to not buying real estate or to purchasing real estate. There's a risk to all of it. Right? You have to be willing to take some risk and let go of fear. You got to conquer fear. You got to do things when you're scared. when you are a little nervous, right? You still got to do it. Listen, people that win in life and with money, they're scared too. The only difference is that they go ahead and do it anyway, despite being scared. Fear is a natural emotion. Fear is a natural emotion. Okay. Look, I'm in front of I make this look easy because I've done it so much now. Not easy, but I make it look, like it's natural. But I'm in front of a whole bunch of people right now. There's some fear there, right? There's fear right now. Me looking into this camera, me talking to you guys. There's fear, but guess what? I'm doing it despite the fear because I have something to share with you that overrides my emotion of fear. When it comes to your money, you have to understand the importance of doing things with your money despite being scared, despite the fear, despite the risk. You got to manage the risk, manage the fear so that you can get past it. Fear is just a bump in the road. Your job is not to stop and turn around when you get to the bump of fear. Your job is to figure out how you can maneuver and go around and get over the bump of fear in the middle of the road, right? Risk is very hard and people don't talk about it enough, but risk is one of the things that keeps some people here with their money and some people here with their money. The people up here, they're scared to ever be back here again, and the people down here are scared to do the things that it takes to get up here. Right? Fear is a big part of money, and it's a big part of the psychology, the thinking. Because listen, fear is only things that you make up in your mind that hasn't even happened yet, right? You're scared of something that ain't even happened. You're making up stories about something in your head, right? And listen, my thing is this: if you're going to make up stories in your head about the future, you might as well make up good stories, right? If you're just going to make up stories, make up something that's positive, something that's good, something that could lead to, good, something good is my point, right? Don't just make up something bad and then react and then live your life. This is what happens with people who don't have a lot of money, how they look at people who have a lot of money, right? They're making up their stories about people that have a lot of money. And sometimes you got people that have a lot of money that make up stories about poor people as well, right? But when a poor person says, all those rich people, they're so selfish, or those rich people, they're not, you're just making something up in your head, right? My thing is this: if you're going to make something up positive. Instead of being scared to punch record and get in front of the camera on YouTube, say to yourself, wow, I might punch record and help a lot of people. I may help 1 million people today because my video may go viral. Let whatever you're trying to accomplish be bigger than your fear, right? Very important point here on how to think about money, really, so you stop wasting money, right? Another thing, let me go to another thing, guys. And I'm just rattling, guys. So, bear with me, guys, just rattling over things I think are really, really important in terms of thinking about money. So we stop wasting money, right? Somebody said the opportunity cost. Absolutely. Hey, that's an old school economic term, opportunity cost. Yep. Hey, guys, do me a favor. If you got a question, I want to answer it. So put a Q by it in the chat, and I will definitely answer your question starting right now. Okay, because I might have missed some, but if you can put it back in the chat, I want to answer your question, guys. Another thing I want to talk about is this: if you want to think about money differently to stop wasting money, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. And I'm not saying bet, right? Gamble bet. I'm not a bettor, right? But listen, your own self-learning, your own self-development, your own self-growth, right? Never stop learning. Never stop adding to your arsenal of information, right? A lot of people, guys, they want to learn about money. They want to know about money, but they don't want to read a book about money. They don't want to order a book from Amazon that's going to teach them some principles about money. I know a lot of us don't like to read. I'm with that. You could do audiobooks, right? A lot of people just say, I want to watch YouTube channels like Smart Money Bro, right? That's cool too, right? But you're learning. Keep keep the learning coming, right? Because the learning is giving you new, fresh ideas, new things to think about, right? You got to keep the learning coming because that's self improvement. And now you're sort of betting on yourself, right? To get better, to learn more, right? I like to read books that are, um, biographies, because I like to hear about stories of people that have achieved, right? But you need to be reading a book a month about investing, a book about a month about generating wealth, a book a month about building your wealth, or about managing your money, or thinking differently about money, you or personal finances, right? Or about how to create different streams of income. I say a book. You say I look at a lot of YouTube videos. Read a book. There's nothing wrong with adding to your library of books, right? You might want to get into real estate, invest in real estate, you, learn about it. Somebody asked a question on another, I think it was maybe in YouTube. They talk about, I want to learn how to do real estate. I want to buy my first property. Look, the way you learn how to buy your first property is you have to understand and read about real estate. You got to go learn about real estate, learn a little bit about real estate, and then go do some real estate. But you got to learn a little bit first. You got to make it, you got to turn into a part-time job how to learn about whatever you're trying to get better at, right? If you want to learn how to eat better, you got to read about it. If you want to learn how to exercise, read about it. If you want to learn how to, you got to, because again, reading is what's activating your brain, and everything starts in the brain first, right? I would not advise you to just go out there and you want to be a better baseball player. I wouldn't advise you to go out there and just start swinging the bat. I need you to take some time to read about hitting. Just a little bit. Read a little bit before you go out there and start swinging away. Same thing about investing your money or investing in real estate. Read a little bit so you can get some knowledge and something different in your brain. So now that can activate your behavior, right? Take some courses, right? Whatever it may be, right? You ought to have 100 different YouTubers saved on your personal financial YouTubers saved on your list and subscribe to and turn the notifications on so you can start getting various information. You could, if let's say you want to be in real estate, you got to learn, you got to go get around people, read books, read information, get on websites, whatever it takes, right? Bet on yourself, bet on your own self-learning. There's so much free information out here, guys. You don't even have to spend money to learn nowadays, right? You got to make learning a habit that you do every single day, right? Thanks so much, Juicy Workshaw, for the super chat. Always here, family. Good to have you. Appreciate you very much for that super chat. So much. Let's see here. Somebody said you must see behind the risk like a firefighter. Absolutely. Is that what they teach firefighters, to see beyond the risk? Listen, that's so important. Man, that one is so important. It's like the people that end up achieving great in their life are always people that can see into the future, right? They don't have to have it right there. The people that, okay, let's talk about flipping houses. The people that become really good at flipping houses, they can look at a ran down, shoddy house, but they can see what it could be. They can look into the future and say, you know what, this is what could happen. This is what I can do. Right? Good designers and people that create, these are people that can see into the future and see the possibilities of something. You got to be that person when it comes to your money. You got to be able to see into the future and say, you know what, if I did that, you know what, this is what it's going to be like to have that $100,000 in my emergency fund, or to buy that $25,000 car cash, or to be a millionaire, right? You got to start seeing that early, so that you can start being it later, right? I got a whole lesson and things I like to talk about that. Thank you, Juicy Works. Question, Mrs. Moore, what do you think about Social Security being slashed? Ooh, Mrs. Moore, you going to throw that at me today? Let me say it like this, Mrs. Moore. The Social Security solvency has been a problem for a while, right? How do we continue to fund Social Security if we don't have the amount of people putting into Social Security that will need to be paid out to Social Security? The solvency has been an issue. Here's what I think. In America, we have programs and things that people rely on to live, right? To pay their bills, right? But we also have a growing debt, and growing fiscal financial policies and problems with those policies in America. And we just keep printing money and printing money and printing money and printing money. $34 trillion debt today, $40 trillion. At what point does it end? Right? What happens here? Something's going to break at some point. Maybe in our lifetime, maybe in 50 years from now. But something's going to break unless we get a hold on some of the spending that America does. It's going to hurt some people. It's going to be some pain. There's going to be some social things and social programs and so forth that may need to be cut, slash. Maybe we push the. I heard somebody say push the retirement age up, right? Up 3 or 4 or 5 years because people are living longer. But there needs to be a fix. I don't know what that fix is. When you say Social Security being slashed, I get it. It's going to hurt some people. It's going to hurt the people that need it the most, unfortunately. We'd like to see the pain happen from the people that make the most, right? The millionaires and billionaires, et cetera. We want to see a little more pain there. But however it shakes down, somebody's got to feel some pain in order to fix this thing of Social Security, right? And by the way, I worked at Social Security for about 6 years. So I understand the importance of Social Security. Listen, I used to be the guy that when you call the 1-800 number on Social Security, not the guy, but one of the thousands and thousands of people that when you call Social Security and ask what happened to my check, hold on for a second. Let me take a look. Boom, 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 boom. I used to do that for many years, right? I was also the person that worked in a Social Security office in a rough part of town where the person who was homeless across the street would come over to the Social Security building to pick up their check once a month, right? And we'd sit down and interview people who were looking for Social Security, people that just got out of prison yesterday. Now they're coming to file or figure out what's going on with their Social Security, and they just got released. All types of people walking into the Social Security office I used to have to deal with, right? In one capacity, a job that I worked shortly while I was at Social Security. So the point is this. I understand Social Security. It's tough. It's hard, and a lot of people rely on it. So I don't, it's just going to be a pain. Somebody's going to feel the pain, right? Somebody's going to feel the wrath. Nate, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Somebody said libraries have audiobooks, so a no-cost option. Colleen, you're exactly right. Colleen, right? I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Do you have a list of books about money investing that people should read? I'm a classics, right? I like Dave Ramsey stuff. I think his stuff is pretty simple and easy to read. I like anything by John Bogle, right? The founder of Vanguard. J.L. Collins, his simple investing book. You name it. There's a lot of different books out there. I got some things up there. Simple Path to Wealth is J.L. Collins. Sorry about that. Your Money, Your Life is a good one as well, right? Your Money or Your Life. Yeah. Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin. It's right there too. So those are something. Hey, I like, Millionaire Next Door and, what's the other one by Thomas Stanley. All his books are always good too, but they're older books, right? I don't mind older books, right? You can get a lot of good information in older books. Somebody says, hey, Smart Money, I'm late. Good to have you, T. Washington. You can go ahead and rewind back to the beginning whenever you get a chance. Edward Williams from Fort Worth, Texas. Good to have you. Question, do you know what happened to your video about the benefits of getting a 15-year mortgage as opposed to a 30-year mortgage? I don't know. Maybe it's there. It's hidden. Maybe it's private by now. I don't know. Larry, that's a good topic. We got to do a show on that, guys. 15-year mortgage versus a 30-year mortgage. As you guys may have known, I like 15-year mortgages, especially as you get older, because I like the idea of you being 55, 60 years old would have paid for a home, right? I don't want you to be, my thing is, I don't want you to be 65, 70 years old struggling to pay a mortgage. So if you don't like mortgages and don't want to buy a house, that's cool. You don't have to buy a house, just rent. But if you want to have a house, buy a house. And I suggest as you get a little later in life, you put it on a 15-year note, right? I know everybody likes 30-year notes, just pay a little extra. Yeah, that's cool too. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to do it, I'm open, right? But I like having that house paid for. So you know what, Larry, if it's not there, maybe we'll do another one. I think it might be private. I have 500 something videos, but I got another 75 videos that are private, and I'll have to open that one up. Maybe I'll open that one up for you, Larry. Appreciate you asking about that. I never understood how they're going to cut Social Security, but people are dying every day, so their money stopped there. Yeah, put that money back in the pot. Hey, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, checking in. Good to have you as well. The Psychology of Money. I've never read that book. I see it all the time, but I guess maybe it's the Psychology of Money is talking about a lot of the same things I talk about, which is cool. Right? Somebody said Ram Sathi's book, I Can Teach You to Be Rich, is also a great book. Thanks for those suggestions, guys. You're welcome, Larry. Let's go to the other thing to help you think about money so you stop wasting money. Let me give you one more that I got is this, guys. And you guys are here doing this, but don't be afraid to get help with your money. Don't be afraid to get some help with your money. Don't ever get to the point with your money where you think you know it all and you think you have all the answers. There's always something to learn differently about money, right? Now, some of you be saying, do I need a financial advisor? You can use a financial advisor if you want one. I've never had a financial advisor, right? I'm not totally against one. Of course, I have an attorney and I have CPA and some other things. But in terms of personal financial advisors, I've never had one, right? Just because I've learned so much on my own, I've never really, felt the need for one. But listen, I'm not opposed to one, right? I'm not opposed to one at all, right? I just have not had one because I've learned so much over the last 20 years about money. Doesn't mean I know everything about money. I don't. I'm not a personal advisor. I'm not none of that. But I can help people a lot, right? And that's what I do, right? I do offer one-on-one financial services where I sit down with you and we do a one-on-one, we get on the Zoom and all that good stuff. But I help people look at their money differently because you would be surprised at how many people have a one-track mind when they look at their money. They've thought about their money in a cocoon because they've never had another set of eyes on their money. They've only set their own eyes on their money. People come to me all the time. Hey man, I need either I can do this or I can do that. They give me two suggestions they can do. But when I look at their situation, I'm saying, wait a minute, you could also do this, and then you could also do this. And don't forget about that, right? There's 5 different things they can do, but they're only thinking of 2 because our mind can only wrap our head around so many things, right? Sometimes we only know what we know. And if we don't know anything different, then we haven't looked at our situation different. Sometimes you need a third eye to come in and look down on your situation, say, wait a minute. The other thing is this, guys. I suggest everybody take and put your situation on paper or put it on a spreadsheet, right? When I say your situation, I mean your budget, monthly budget, and your net worth statement. Put it on a spreadsheet or write it down on a piece of paper. Because when you do that exercise of writing it down on a piece of paper or putting it on a spreadsheet, guess what? Now you begin to look at your situation a little bit different, right? I've had people sit in front of me and say, man, I don't have no money left over at the end of the month to actually invest money. I don't have any money left over. And then we get done, 30 minutes later, an hour later, we're looking at their personal situation on paper and they got an extra $2,000 every month. But they didn't know that they had any extra money because they never put it on paper, right? So I'm saying you have to get somebody else sometimes to look at your money to give you something. A lot of times we don't like to do that. We don't want to share information about our money. We're so guarded with our money, right? I've been in my salary has been public since 1994 because I worked as a school teacher. You could always go look and see what school teachers in their first, second, third year make at a district, right? Then after that, I work for the federal government. There's a website that tells you pretty much what everybody that works for the federal government in America, what they earn per year, right? There's a website that tells you all that, believe it or not. So my salary has always been public. So I've never in the last 30 years had a problem with saying, hey, I make this amount of money. Or somebody asks, what do you make? Oh, I make so-and-so. I don't care. But there's a lot of people who make $20,000 a year or make $200,000 that don't want to tell you what they make. They keep it all wrapped up. If that's cool, if you want to be secretive, there's nothing wrong with that. But just understand this, when you guard all of everything around your money and you're guarding it really tight nothing can penetrate, nothing can get in. You don't want to, no, I don't want anybody to know this. Don't talk about this. When you live like that with your money, sometimes you miss out on the pliability of receiving good information that could help you, right? Of receiving the type of information that could really change your personal financial system or your situation. But because you don't never want to talk about it, it's a hush thing. Don't talk about it. Nothing penetrates your wall of security around your money. That means the good doesn't penetrate it. And so you end up thinking that, and you get so frustrated because you don't reach out for help. It's okay to get some help with your money. It's not a bad thing. We all could use some help. I could probably use some help with my money, right? Even though I'm talking about and teaching, I could probably there's nothing wrong with getting somebody else to take a look at your financial situation because you only know what you know. Your perspective is a limited perspective on your personal finances, right? So some people have just gotten really comfortable in a cocoon of don't ask, don't tell. Don't be asking me about my money. I ain't going to tell you about my money. There's nothing wrong with sharing information if somebody asks you. I would never volunteer. Hey, guys, guess what? I make $90,000 a year because there's people in the room that make $20,000 a year. They don't want to hear that, right? But if somebody asks you for help, there's nothing wrong with sharing, but you got to be that person that is okay with asking a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that, learning from other people and so forth, right? That way it'll help you to think differently about money because different people have different opinions and things that they can share with you and maybe help you, right? I'm not saying you got to do it. I'm just saying consider it, right? Somebody said another good book is Automatic Millionaire. Absolutely. I think I read that years ago. Hey, Palmdale, California's in the house. Good advice. Always check those habits time to time, Zombie said. UK is in the house. Good to have you, UK. I believe the way we spend is directly related to our mental state. Yes, I think it's all tied together. Together. I really believe that. Thanks for sharing that. Guys, if you got a question, drop it in. We can rap about it. But my point on being on this video is to say, listen, this controls everything. This controls everything. This is where it all starts. This ain't where the fun happens, right? It ain't all fun, but this is where it all starts. This is where it all gets kicked off in your brain, in your mind. Again, I'll say it like I said before. Where you are with your money today is a direct result of how you think about money. How you think about money. It's not a direct result of inflation. Okay? Where you are with your money is not a direct result of inflation. It's not. It's not. I know inflation's higher than it has been, but guess what? Inflation been around for 50, 60, 80 years, 90, 100 years. Right? It's going to be up. It's going to be down. It's going to be up. It's going to be up. It's going to be way up. It's going to be down. It's going to be up a little more. It's going to be down. Happens. Right? Where you are with your money is not a direct result of who the president is. Okay? Or the Congress. Who's in Congress? Is it Democrat House Republicans or is it Republican Senate, right? This Chuck Schumer did this and what's the other lady? Pelosi did that. And where you are with your money is not a direct result of that. It's really not. It's not. Where you are with your money is a direct result of how you've thought about money up to today, right now. If you have money, okay, you did some good things with money. You thought about money in the right way and you behaved the right way. If you don't have the money, don't have any money, you did some things wrong and your behavior has not been well with money. I got to say this, guys. I got to say this. When I say if you're not doing well with money, it's not just your behavior with the money that's bad. Okay? It's not just your behavior with money that's led you to be where you are. It's your behavior and your thinking about all different types of things in your life that ultimately result in money. So it's your thinking. If you're not doing well with money, it's your thinking about career. It's your thinking about relationship. It's your thinking about learning. It's your thinking about fear. It's you're thinking about all these other things that ultimately, the ultimate result of all that is where you are today with your money. Because I don't want you to think that I'm saying everybody that doesn't have money is just horrible with money. That's not true. Because some people don't have a lot of money, but they're very, very good with their money, but they just don't have a lot of money. The reason they don't have a lot of money is because they may not be as good in other areas, right? You may just have a real set of low paying skills. You're good with your money, but you don't have a lot of money because you have low paying skills. What that's telling me is that it wasn't the money, but it was your behavior around your ability to get higher paying skills or your willingness to get higher paying skills. That may be a reason, but it's still your personal responsibility, right? And it's still tied up in your thinking. Because had you thought a different way at the age of 21 and did something different, you might be in a career or a job making more money. That's all I'm saying. So I don't like to beat people up because they don't make money. That's not the point of what I'm saying. Okay. Because we've all been at a point, me too, right? When I didn't have a lot of money, but you got to be willing to put it on you. You can't put it on somebody else. You can't put it on all those other outside factors and say, you know what? It's because of what they're doing with the inflation. It's because of capitalism. You hear this a lot, right? Capitalism. That's why we're poor. I'm poor. Not really, right? Nigeria is in the house. How you doing? Let's hit the thumbs up. Guys, please hit the thumbs up for me. I appreciate it. Somebody said inflation's everywhere, and I can't stand it when people blame politicians. When you blame politicians for your bad behavior with money, you're just giving politicians power over your life because you just told them that you're the problem. And whenever you tell something else or somebody else that you're the problem, you just gave them the power to be the solution. So you forfeited your power. You gave it up. When you say President Biden is the reason that, then what happens is Biden is that powerful where he stopped you from picking up a book, but Biden stopped you from managing your money properly, where Biden, he ain't done none of that. But you just gave him the power because now you say, Biden, you're the problem. Guess what that makes Biden? It makes him the solution. And it makes you weak and powerless because you just gave all your power over to him. Never let him be that powerful in your life. Never let a politician be that powerful where they control it. Never let inflation or capitalism be that powerful in your life that it controls your money. That's a problem. That will leave you stressed out because guess what it does? It tells you that you can't do anything about your situation. Inflation's got to change. Capitalism's got to change. The president's got to change. Everybody around you has to change. But guess who's not changing? You. Because now you're weak when you give your power to everything else. And you don't want to be weak when it comes to your money. You have to be in control and strong with your money. You got to take control. The only way you take control is you look at the person in the mirror and say, how do I think differently so I can stop wasting money? That's the problem with your money. But the beauty is that when you look in the mirror and you tell yourself that, guess what? Now you have all the power. Because not only are you the problem, but you are the solution. That's powerful, right? When you get that in your spirit about your money, everything changes. Because now you're going to start thinking differently and behaving differently. And then in 10 years, you're going to have $100,000 socked away because you started doing something different and you didn't care about the things that you couldn't change. You only cared about the person you could change in terms of fixing your financial problems. That's the lesson, right? That's the lesson, guys. That's how you start thinking differently about money. And it's the only way to win. Really, the only way to win with money is to take that personal responsibility and start putting it on your own thinking. That's what happens, right? That's how you win with money. Let me see here. Canada's in the house too. Good to have you. Still cold in Canada. Man, I hate that for you guys. Sorry about that. Let's see. Investing in money takes a lot. Takes a lot. Yeah. You can set it and forget it, right? Get you a S&P 500 index fund. You're good to go. Let's see here. Canada. I was raised in an environment where money was a taboo subject. Spark of hope. A lot of us were. A lot of us were, right? My mother apparently wasn't very good with our finances, but because the subject was taboo, we were never taught. A lot of us were never taught about money. And so we make a lot of mistakes with money. Here's the key. We can all make mistakes with money. Don't repeat the same mistake with money, and make sure that you do some right things with money. Don't repeat the same mistake. Make sure you do the right things. I am the poster child for making mistakes with money. I've made a lot of mistakes with money, but I didn't repeat the same mistakes. I changed my behavior and I did some right things with money too. And that led to where I'm at with money. Somebody said, how many ETFs is it okay to invest in? However many you want. Watch the overlap. Okay. Do you really need VTI and VOO? I think VTI at Vanguard is a total stock market ETF. VOO is the S&P 500. Go to ETF.com and compare your ETFs and look at the overlap in terms of same companies in the bucket, right? But you can have as many as you feel comfortable. You don't need a lot of ETFs to make money in the stock market. Somebody said, "Oh, inflation is worldwide." Sure is. Inflation, and you want to know what? Go down to Argentina, or is it Argentina? Or is it Chile? Go down there and check inflation. It's happening all over the world, right? The thing about Americans sometimes, guys, is a lot of us don't travel, or a lot of us don't pay attention to international things going on, and we think it's all in America, the American government, right? Yeah, these things are happening all over the world. Let's see. Let's hit the thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Yes, hit the thumbs up. I like to talk money with people that's not judgmental or can be jealous, because you can learn something. Yes, you can learn so much, Larry. Good point. You can learn so much from other people about money. Very important. Let's see, bro. Pay down home mortgage or invest money in S&P 500? Listen, Gabriel, my man. Gabriel said, bro, pay down home mortgage or invest money in the S&P 500. Listen, you got to do some assessing of you, Gabriel, if you want to really answer that question on a personal level. And I like to answer that question on a personal level. Can you get a higher return on the S&P? Yes, you can get a higher return on the S&P than your rate of your interest rate that you pay on your mortgage, right? You may pay a 3 or 4% interest rate. You might get a 6, 7, 8, 10% on the S&P. I get it. But I don't want to be a person that gives you a blanket answer to that question, because it depends on other variables. Gabriel, you may be a person that you already got $700,000 socked away in the S&P 500 in an ETF or index fund, and you got this stubborn little house you want to pay off because you got some other things you want to do, and you're just sick of having a mortgage. You don't want to make a $1,500 a month payment every time. You might want to go ahead and pay off the mortgage, right? Despite the numbers. Right? Because it's not just about numbers. It's about risk. It's about how's it going to make you not feel. I don't want to go there. We talked about logic and emotion, but what is it that you want out of it? Right? What do you want out of it? Right? What is the end game for you? What is, if you can get to the end game, is the end game having a paid for home, and because you think that's going to be good for you and good for your family, good for you logically, emotionally, whatever, then pay off the home. Right? But if you really say, you know what, I got some other goals that I want to achieve, and you know what, I only got a 2% mortgage, I'm going to keep it. Now, if you're asking what I do, Gabriel, right, most times I would go ahead and pay off that mortgage because it gives me more options. It's just a house. I'm not really tied to a house, right? I don't have an emotional tie to a house. It's a house. I pay it off. If I want to sell it, great. If I want to go out and get another loan or whatever. The point is that I'd probably get rid of the mortgage because I don't really like too much debt. Mortgages aren't horrible, though. So it's really a Gabriel decision you got to make based on a lot of variables. Somebody said, I retired at 33, bought an NFT for $800, sold it for 6 figures, and invested it all into a private equity hedge fund that pays me $9,000 per month. Richard, cool. Congratulations, Richard. He's balling. He made a good move, right? Made a good move. Congratulations to you, Richard. Inflation hits hard over here in Austria, but my investments make me financially strong. I like that. Let's see. I like to talk money with people that have money because I can learn and get ideas. Absolutely. Larry said that several times. Do you think money is related to an abundance or absolutely? Listen, fear is a scarcity mindset. Scarcity is fear. I better not invest. I'm going to lose it all. I better not give. I might go broke giving. I better not help other people. Listen, that's scarcity. Here's where you want to be with money. There's enough money, enough stuff, enough abundance on this earth for all of us to have it. My cup will run over. Your cup can run over. All of our cups can run over. Matter of fact, I'm going to help you run over your cup. I'm going to go over here and help you run over your cup. I'm going to help your cup run over. I'm going to help, and you help millions of people cup run over. Guess what's going to happen to your cup? Your cup. It's going to run over. Abundance mindset. Plenty out here for all of us. This is why I do this YouTube channel, because my goal is to help 100 million people. That's my goal. I'm going to help 100 million people. Okay. That's one of my goals, right? Got a few of them. But that's one of my goals. I want to help people's cup run over. That's an abundance mindset. Guess what happens? In the meantime, I'm going to get wealthy in the meantime. Not just financially, because wealth is not just financial, but I'm going to get wealthy in the meantime, helping other people get wealthy. That's the kicker. And it may not look like Lamborghini, 10,000 square foot mansion home. Wealth may not look like that. Maybe I just get wealth in my spirit. Think about it. Maybe I just get wealth because I get 1 million friendships, 1 million people who support me. Maybe I just get wealth in ways that don't necessarily have to be tied to money, but you can get money wealth too by making other people's cup run over. You help enough people. What did it say? You help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. That's an abundance mindset, right? It's not all about give me, take from here, take from there, consumer, consumption. I use this, I use that. And all the time, not helping anybody along the way. A big piece of what I talk about on this channel, guys, is helping other people. That's an abundance mindset when you get there, right? Spring has sprung. Kenya's in the house. Good to have you. Somebody said I had QVC on. What about to buy makeup? And I left website. Hey, good for you, Crazy Lurie. You left the website. Congratulations for having that discipline. Wait 30 days and see what happens. Somebody said Argentina inflation 250%. It's way up there, right? Let's see here. Smash that like button, T. Washington. Yes, guys. 210 people in the chat and only 117 likes. That's no good. No bueno. Smash the like button for me, guys. Hit the like button. It helps YouTube know that this is something that other people should be checking out. How to think about money. This is it. Money mindset. Key. The key. When I have a one-on-one with somebody, guess what? Or I talk about with money with somebody, guess one of the first things I do, I try to assess this. Because if I can understand where this is, it's going to help me help you. Right? Yeah, I like to look at the numbers and we can see the numbers, see where you're on paper, but I got to know where this is. Because if this ain't in the right place, I can't help you with money. If you're not thinking the right way, nobody can help you with your money. You got to have the right thought process. I have people that want help, but they want me to affirm their poor decisions with money. They don't want to think different. They want help, but they want help on their terms with money, terms to justify what they've done with money. Wrong mindset. Wrong mindset. Somebody says, do you have a book published? Listen, I have 2 books sitting on Amazon. One is about real estate, buying your first. I wrote them 3 or 4 years ago. One is about real estate. If you want to buy your first piece of property, I bought my first piece of property back in the year 2000, right? And I bought it. I had lots of stories about what happened with that. And I see right now they're talking about squatters' rights is a big issue. I had a squatter in the first house I purchased. He was squatting there. And when I say he, about 6'3", 275 pounds, chiseled, was homeless and squatting in my first rental property. I had to use all due diligence. Now, I'm not a tall guy, right? I'm 5'9", right? I got a little girth on me, right? But I'm 5'9". So this guy's 6'3", big boy. I'm saying, man, I got to get this guy out the house. So anyway, long story short, ultimately I did it. I got a book on Amazon about buying your first piece of rental property or how to invest in rental property. I have a book on Amazon about how to buy good used cars cash. We did a live about it 2 or 3 weeks ago. Did a couple of lives about it. How to buy cars cash. Stop financing cars, right? So yeah, I got a couple books on Amazon. And they're small books, right? They're not big books at all. I would show you one, but I don't have one near me. Let's see here. Somebody said, "Can you talk about investing for your children?" Oh, Anna, good question. Guess what, Anna? By the time I was in my 40s, I didn't have anything invested. I had no money saved up for my kids' college. None. Neither one of them. I have 3 kids. One of them's older, right? He ultimately paid for his own college. Then I have 2 daughters, right? Did not have any money set up for them to go to college. No. But guess what? They went to college free. They had no student loan debt because I made sure that although I didn't have money, they got through college, never getting a loan, right? Scholarships, they got scholarships. They worked. I worked extra side gigs. I did the eBay. I told you guys before, I did an eBay store where I sold over $100,000 on eBay in a matter of 6 years to help at least one of my daughters grow through college. Another daughter was a student athlete, so she got a lot of stuff paid for. So the point is this. I didn't save any money for my kids. But guess what? Now that I know better, I do better. So I have some things set up for my grandkids as well. I have some accounts for them that I put money towards on a regular basis because I got some tiny little grandkids and I don't want them to suffer through what I suffered for. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So when you know better, you do better, right? So in terms of investing for your children, do what you can. I say this is my point. This is one thing I want to tell you. Don't sacrifice your future to pay for your kids' college. In other words, don't tell yourself, "Oh, I can't put money aside for my future self because I'm paying for my kids' college." Listen, when your kid gets to college, they may not even want to go to college. They may want to go to trade school. They may want to be a YouTuber. They may just want to be a plumber. Nothing wrong with a plumber, but they can go to plumbing school and not pay nearly the amount they'll pay at a university. They may not want that, but you're going to be older. You may be 40 years old today. You're going to be 60. The chances are you're going to be 60. And guess what? You got to pay for you at 60. Your paying for you at 60 takes priority over you paying rent when you get 60. It takes priority over your 5-year-old's college. That's my opinion. It takes priority. You gotta pay. You gotta eat food when you get to be 70 years old. That your food you eat at 70 takes precedence over your child's college. There's a lot of ways to prepare a kid for college, right? I got a video about this. We talked about it a while back. You got to start grooming your kids at 7th and 8th grade to understand, teaching them to understand that, hey, I may not have a lot of money, but you got to get scholarships. We have to apply for scholarships. We got to get some free money. There's free money out here. There's grants. We got to do something. You're going to have to go to work, whatever it takes. I'm going to have to work more, but there's ways to go to college free. Man, you sent me on a tangent, Anna, but that's okay. Thanks for the thumbs up. Abundance mindset giving is beautiful. Absolutely, it's beautiful. Come on, guys. 200 people in here. Let's get to 200 likes. Smash the like button. Just hit the thumbs up for me, guys. It's quick, it's simple, it's easy, but it helps this message get out. That's a good topic, investing for your children. That's an excellent topic. Setting up the right custodial accounts, 529, UTMA, there's all different types of investment types. That's a really good topic. Maybe we'll do a show on that. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it. Tatiana, I know I got the name right. Tatiana, great content you're putting out. I appreciate you being here, Tatiana. And I'm a big names guy, right? One of my favorite things to do when I was teaching school was the first day of class when I would get this roster of kids and I would have an opportunity to say their name and pronounce their name really fun. And we had a good time with that. Anyway, somebody says, what are your thoughts on a mortgage recast? What is a mortgage recast? I've heard it a bunch of times. Help me out here. Let me see. I'll pull it up so I know. I haven't given much thought to it because I heard it, but I wasn't focused on it. Recasting your existing mortgage. Pay down your mortgage. Let me do some research on that. To be honest with you, I don't want to just spew something out, and not know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me do my research on that. Good question though. Recast. I've heard it a bunch of times, but just never looked into it. NW is in the house. Good to have you. Guerrero from Long Island, New York. Good to have you here. Link to real estate book, please. I'll put it in the description box 5 minutes after this show ends. Okay. Let's see here. That's why you don't rent a property, just buy and hold Bitcoin. Somebody says Bitcoin. All right, we got some Bitcoin folks in the house. Anybody invest in Bitcoin? Raise your hand. I am not a full disclosure. I got a couple of $100 in Bitcoin. I have a little bit more than that. I maybe have I got some hundreds of dollars in Ethereum, right? So I'm not a big Bitcoin guys. Somebody says, what's a good investment for a grandchild? Depends on what the end goal is. If the end goal is, college, maybe a 529 might be a good choice. I suggest looking at that. I'd look into a UTMA. UTMAs are okay, but you got to be careful about the uses, right? There's different tax implications on those different vehicles. You can also set them up with an account and just, put it under trust or something, right? There's a lot of different ways to structure it. Mrs. Moore. Somebody says, because I opened a 529. 529 is good for investing for your kids or grandchild's future. Yeah, those are good. Somebody says you can open one with Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, etc. True. I've known this young man for over 30 years. What he says is truth. Who is this? Let me know. Pine Hill Productions. Oh, Pine Hill Productions. My man. Right on. I've known this young man for 30 years. What he says is true. He genuinely wants to help people and provide information. Thanks, bro. Thanks to you, bro. I know who you are, man. Good to have you here. Okay. Good to have you. Glad you're here. Yeah. College days, K-State. I know. I'm thinking. I appreciate you being here, man. Thanks for being in the chat. Mrs. Moore said 173 likes. Yes, get them up, guys. Get them up. Okay. Somebody says I'm holding 0.15 Bitcoin. Not very much. Lyle in the house. I knew who you was, Lyle. I knew who you was. I was trying to protect your anonymity, but I appreciate you being here, Lyle. Lyle is a good guy, real strong guy. Pine Hill Productions, independent filmmaker. Give me something to shout out for you, Lyle. That's my guy. Good guy. But yeah, guys, 191. Hit the like button for me, guys. A basic conversation about money every Saturday morning, 11 o'clock a.m. How to think about money. One of my first of the 4 tenements I give you guys about money is money mindset. This thing right here changes everything. And you'd be surprised, guys, just because a person has a college degree or they have a master's degree or a PhD, that's a different skill set than money management, right? Just because a person doesn't have a higher degree doesn't mean they're going to be bad with money, right? We all know people that haven't had a whole bunch of money, but guess what? They have money, right? Because there's a different skill set of getting a college degree and managing money. A lot of people with a college degree and make a lot of money, they don't have a lot of money because they don't understand the management or the discipline it takes with money, right? Let's see here. Somebody said, Mr. Pine Hill, ain't that your first grade teacher? Funny. Somebody said, thanks for your help. You got it, Ronnie. Any suggestions on dating while living a frugal lifestyle? Retired 2019. Dating while living a frugal lifestyle. Man, that is a topic that I could really have some fun with. Listen, here's the deal. I'm married, right? But if you're dating while you're living a frugal lifestyle, I think you want to be careful, right? Because everybody ain't all about being a frugal person, right? One of the things you probably want to connect on is how you spend money, right? How you spend money, because that can cause a lot of problems and it can cause a lot of joy. It can be the thing for joy, or it can be the thing for heartache, right? How you spend money is one of how you raise kids, how you spend money. Those things are pretty important. So I would say when it comes to dating and you're trying to live a frugal lifestyle, you might want to look for somebody else who's frugal, or who at least understands and respects your frugality, right? I think that's pretty important. Being on the same page in some type of relationship, being on the same page in terms of money is pretty important. My man Lyle, Pine Hill Productions, An American Story documentary series on YouTube. Check it out. An American Story, guys. Just go check it out for him. Independent filmmaker is what Pine Hill is what Lyle is. He's an independent filmmaker, professor, super intelligent. And Lyle is my go-to on DNA. Like we're both of us are really big on genealogy, right? We love genealogy, and so Lyle at Pine Hill Productions is my go-to on genealogy and DNA. So I appreciate you for being here, Lyle. And your son was in here before too. Talk to him as well. Somebody said, what's your take on backdoor Roths? If you make enough money and you want to do a backdoor Roth, I think they're okay. There's nothing wrong with it. They're good. Converting all your money over so you can avoid taxes later is always a good thing. Backdoor Roths are okay if you're out of the over the limitations of what you can have to actually contribute to a traditional Roth. Backdoors are good, right? Let's see. This live is so chill. Appreciate you, Anna. Yeah, we just chatting. We just chopping it up right now. Just having a conversation, taking some Q&A, and saying, hey guys, what can I do to help you? What questions do you have for me? Appreciate you guys asking the questions too. That keeps it going. If you have a question, put a Q in there and let me know. It helps me identify it quickly. John Hall in the house. Good to have you. Retired 2019. Having a budget will help you with that partner or with dating, Tatiana says. Having a budget. Yeah. So you don't overspend, right? Somebody says, finish your ebook and I'm mind blown. Thank you, Drewski. Free ebook. I go through my story in that ebook. It's in the description box below. Haven't mentioned my partner Mint Mobile in a while, but I partnered with Mint Mobile on this video, guys. So check them out. There's a link to that as well in the description box. Also, smartmoneybro.com is my website. It's been up for a while. I used to write a blog on there, so you'll see about 50 or 60 different blog posts on there dealing with money. Some good reading, something good for you guys to say, okay, maybe you can pass along a blog post that's on that website. I do one-on-one mentoring and coaching for personal finances, money mindset, money mainstays, multiplying your money, managing your money. All of that is what we talk about. Or I just help you start an eBay business. I just help you get into real estate. I just help you learn the difference between flipping, wholesaling, and buy and hold real estate. I help you understand how to manage your real estate. I talk about all these different things, guys. Somebody said, dating at 55, debt-free, trying to save money is hard. It is, but don't be, hey, the right person when you're dating, don't base everything on whether or not she or he has debt, right? John said, thankfully, I finally met someone who gets it and we get along a lot. Fantastic. Congratulations to you, John. Fantastic. Electricians and plumbers are the top paying trades in the U.S. Yes, I think the average plumber makes around $70,000 a year. But listen, one of the things I talk about on this channel is don't be average. If you want to be an average plumber, then you're going to make average plumber money. If you want to be a plumber, try to be the best plumber in your city, in your area, in your state. Try to be the best at whatever you do. If you cook, be the best cook. If you teach, be the best teacher. If you're a nurse, be the best nurse. Whatever you are, be the best or work towards being the best. That's how you raise your value. That's how you raise your income, right? People always say, I want to make more money. I want to make more money. You're bad at what you do. How can you want to make more money and you don't even do what you do well, right? So the first thing I tell you is get good at what you do. That's a habit. That's a principle. When you start becoming the best at what you do, you become valuable. And when you become valuable, they don't want to lay you off. They may lay you off still, but guess what? You're valuable and you're very good, so you'll get a job quick. But become valuable, and then you lower your chances of having low income. Listen, a plumber makes $40,000 starting off, $70,000 average. But the best plumbers, they make $150,000 a year. They do. You can be a handyman and make $20,000 a year, or you can be the best handyman and make $100,000 a year. That's within your control. But remember, capitalism, the president, that stuff ain't in your control. You can't control inflation. So don't trip on inflation. Stop tripping on stuff you have no control over. Right? Become the best plumber, the best at what you do, the best data analysis person, the best cybersecurity person, right? Somebody said total transparency on finances is important. You're right, especially when you're in a relationship, Colleen. Somebody said, how can I get off the payday loan cycle? Payday loan cycle, I got about 500 videos you need to start watching. Watch 3 a day. Oh, 5 a day. Watch 5 of my videos a day over the next 100 days. That will get you off the payday loan cycle because I'm going to teach you how to think, right? You don't want to be in that payday loan cycle. That's a horrible cycle to be in. That's a 20% interest loan cycle. What? No way. You got a question, Ricardo? Drop it in there. Thanks, everyone, for the tips. I retired 4 years ago and enjoy life. Dating is a challenge. Yeah, I'm sure it can be a challenge finding a frugal person, woman, man. It's tough nowadays because frugal is looked at as being cheap, right? And cheap is frowned upon. But really, a lot of us should be cheaper than what we are, right? Cheap doesn't mean bad quality. It just means not tying so much to stuff, right? Somebody, Tyra, said, love Mint Mobile, been using it since 2018. I try to tell people about on this channel, Mint Mobile, because you're getting premium wireless service. They're not using some rinky-dink service. They're using the world's largest 5G network. So you ain't getting drop calls and all this crazy stuff. And their customer service is excellent. It's almost better than the customer service you get when you walk into a T-Mobile store. And you walk into an AT&T store, you got to wait for 30 minutes before somebody come to you, right? And they always come in the latest fashions. They're working in the store and they come in the latest fashions. And they always come up to you holding the pad and everything. I like them old school stores, right? If I go to a store, I want a cash register, but everything is new wave and all that. That's cool. I'm not mad at it. I'm just slow to change because I'm old school. But look at my phone back here. You can tell I'm old school. And that phone works, and I do have a landline, by the way. But my point is that, listen, with Mint Mobile, you don't have to worry about stores and waiting in line for your 5-second question. But because they're working with somebody to get a phone hooked up, you're in there for 45 minutes and there's only 3 people in the store. So no, Mint Mobile, you get rid of all that. You do it online. It's quick, works, probably takes 15 minutes to transfer your service, and you can keep the same phone number when you get Mint Mobile. That's the kicker. You don't have to change phone numbers. So very good. Thanks, Tyra, for putting that, we used to call that a praise report in the chat. Let's say somebody says, you are so right. Get you a mentor who understands money and see how they are living and mirror that. That's the kicker. Be careful with these scammers and these people online. These people that get in front of IG, in front of a Lamborghini, got the Lambo over here, the jewelry here, the big watch, the Rolex watch, and they talking about how they can get you this and they're just fast talkers, right? A lot of those people out here. And also, when you're in the chat, not chat, but when you're in the comment section, man, talk about scammers in the comment section of any given YouTube video. My goodness, they are relentless. And I try my best to get rid of them, get them out of there. But man, report them. If you see a scammer in the comment section of a YouTube video, please report them, right? That's the quickest. With the more people that report them, it gets them out of there, right? But man, they are relentless out here, guys, right? But the whole point is to stop wasting money. Somebody said, age 57 with a traditional IRA, should I start a Roth or continue with traditional? Here's my thought process on that, Ricardo. 1, talk to a CPA. See what a CPA tells you. 2, you're kind of late in the game, but you can always contribute towards a Roth, right? If you have earned income. If you say I'm retired and I don't have any income, I just get income from Social Security, then you can't be having a Roth. But if you have a job and you're still working, you're getting earned income, you can contribute towards a Roth. There's nothing wrong with that if you want. But you're getting to that age, Ricardo, at 57, where you're teetering on, maybe not. Depends on a lot of personal things. What is the end game, right? What are taxes looking like for you when you do retire ultimately? If you're not going to retire for another 15 years or so, and you know you're going to keep working, there's a lot of variables there, Ricardo. Nothing wrong with a traditional IRA, though. Okay, just remember you got to pay those taxes when you get to a certain age and start pulling that money out. But I think there's a lot of variables, Ricardo. I would say I'd love to sit down with you for 15 or 20 minutes, and you can join this channel at the advanced level, and I have 20-minute personal conversations with anybody who joins month to month at the advanced level, right? HVAC, telecom, also great pay. Absolutely. Let's give it up for the blue collar workers, guys. Nothing wrong with that at all, right? Let's see, Sam from Boynton Beach, Florida. Number 1 principle and discipline. Not sure what you're asking there, Sam. It's all about changing your mindset first. Tatiana, question. If you have a traditional and Roth options with in your 401k, is there a reason to open a Roth outside of your 401k? No. There could now, if you want to open a Roth for some other purpose, that's fine. But if you already have the Roth inside of your 401k, TSP, or whatever, you don't necessarily have to do an outside Roth. You're already getting the benefit of being able to withdraw that money at age 59 and a half without a penalty because you have it within your 401k or your TSP. So there's not really a big need to do that unless there's another reason that you want to have an outside Roth, right? But other than that, no. Let's see. May you bless me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. BLK or BL Knight. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's see. Saw a guy looked about 30 or older post a video. He delivered pizzas for years and should get paid more. The comments were not kind. Yeah. Comments are rough. Comments are rough, guys. Thank you, Mrs. Moore, for pushing that up over 200 likes. I appreciate you. Somebody says, with Mint, do I have to buy a new phone? I don't know. I don't know that the answer to that question. I was able to use my current phone, but maybe it's the way I had my phone set up. Somebody says, I work on the business side of AT&T, and even I hate going into the mobile stores. Yes, they are a pain. I mean, a real pain. I mean, goodness gracious. I don't like going in those stores for nothing. That's why I like Mint Mobile. Let's see. I like the phone in the back. Yeah, that touch tone phone. I saw that on the episode of Three's Company yesterday. The same, but this phone got a. This phone is neat because it's got like volume and everything. It's kind of one of the fancier phones, right? It's got a on and off ringer switch, so it's kind of fancy. Yes, I think you can keep your number with Mint Mobile. As folks, especially young folks, need to live their lives responsibly too. Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Let's see. It's cheap to cancel a landline. Yeah. Call me weird. I got to get rid of this landline. You're right. I'll get rid of it. Somebody says, I love your thinking and teaching. Thank you, Sunset on the Ocean. I appreciate that. I like that name too, Sunset on the Ocean. Yeah, this is we're just relaxing, man. We're having a good time just talking about money, talking about how to think differently with money, and just trying to get you guys to another level. So I appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate you guys being here. I think I'm going to do a live tomorrow, and I got a special live I'm doing. I think it's tomorrow. I think I can do it tomorrow. We'll see. I think my silver play button is finally arriving. Now, on YouTube, when you get over 100,000 subscribers, they give you a silver play button, but I didn't know that you had to actually go out and order the silver play button. So now, yeah, we're at 126,000 subscribers, and I never got my silver play button. I was wondering what happened to it. Another guy I like to watch on here is Roberto Blake. Roberto Blake is a guy that if you're looking to start a YouTube channel or want to learn, check out Roberto Blake's YouTube channel. Let me give those shout outs. Shout out to Roberto Blake. Good guy based in Atlanta. He's got a big YouTube channel with 700,000 subscribers, but he's a real dude, good guy. And he's a good guy to listen to if you want to learn how to do a YouTube channel, right? I also give a shout out to Mommy Trader, who usually comes in here. She's got a channel. Check out her channel, Mommy Trader. She talks about investing, dividends. Younger lady. I say younger. She's probably about 40 years old lady who talks about that stuff. Go check out her video, guys. Good stuff. Fun and budget with Tanisha. Check her out on here too. She kind of, supports the channel. I support her channel. We give each other likes and so forth. And that's always good. Check out her channel. I like to give a shout out to good YouTubers, guys, because I like to live a life of abundance. Thinking about money. Help me stop wasting money, thinking about money, a life of abundance. There's so much out here on these YouTube streets. There's enough YouTube people around so everybody can have YouTube subscribers, right? And there's YouTubers that don't think like that. There's YouTubers that actually literally don't think like that. I've ran into a couple. Hey, this is real story, true story. Hey, I like those thumbnails you have. This is me talking to them. Hey, I like those thumbnails you have. Who's your thumbnail person? I might have to get them to do some thumbnails for me. Them telling me, I can't tell you who that is. That's my secret. What? I'm just a fellow YouTuber trying to get information. We talk, boom. Not even, this person doesn't even talk about money. They have a whole different channel about something totally different. Right? That's a stingy mindset. Here's the abundance mindset. Let me help you and give you a shout out on my channel. You give me a shout out on your channel, and you tell me who you're working with. I tell you who my editor, and we all help one another. That's abundance, right? That's what I like to see. out in these YouTube streets and other. Thanks, Corey. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Mrs. Moore. Get those likes up, guys. Thank you, NW, for the $2 super chat. I really appreciate it. I listen to you and Ramsey most all the shows. Graham Stephan, Iced Coffee Hour, and The Money Guy, and take all the advice and kind of amalgamate. Yeah, put it all together. Take all the stuff you hear, put it all together, and make it work for you. But don't take all the stuff and put it together and start throwing stuff out because it doesn't fit where you are and you're not doing well with your money. Money mindset is so important, guys. So important. So important. Somebody said, keep the landline. Do you have to buy a new phone? That you gotta ask Mint Mobile if you gotta buy a new phone. I don't think you do. About Mint, you can bring your current phone, but your phone cannot be financed, and you can keep some of your phone number. Tyra, thank you for putting that in the chat. I appreciate that. Man, I got some super smart people in this chat. That's one thing I really appreciate about you guys. You guys are on the ball. If I don't answer a question, you guys got the answer because I don't know everything. You got to do a live when you get the silver plaque. Yes, when I get it, I think something got dropped off to my box. I got to check it. I'm going to do a live when I get that silver play button. And when I get it, I want you guys to come to the live. It may be tomorrow. It's going to be a spontaneous live, right? Because I don't know when it's coming exactly. But please tune in because I want to use that opportunity to give you guys a little bit about the journey on YouTube, right? I think some of you want to have some extra income. YouTube is a fantastic way to earn additional income. It takes a whole bunch of work. You would not believe the work that it takes, but it's doable. It's possible. This is what I always said about anything I saw, guys. And this is one thing that really helped me think differently about money. I always told myself, and you guys can take this with you, okay, because it's really important. I always told myself, if they're doing it, I can do it. If there's some human out there doing that, I think I can do it. Now, this is my mindset going into almost everything, right? If they did it, I think I can do it. It's not to be boastful or brag or anything, but it's just having a level of belief that, if it's achievable by anybody, then anybody can achieve it. Does that make sense? In other words, and I had this is the same exact belief that pulled me out of being $30,000 in debt. Having a $30,000 net loss to my name when I was 30 years old. See, I was grown and poor. I was grown and poor. I didn't just grow up poor. I was a grown man in his 20s poor. So I had to understand in my late 20s when I started looking at this money thing, saying, you know what? He did that. I had never, let me give you this story. I had never owned any real estate until I was 30 years old. I didn't grow up in a household where my parents owned the house, right? We rented. I rented till I was 30 years old and bought my first house. I was a renter, a lifelong renter. And I said to myself, I think I can do that too. I see him doing that, her doing that. I think I can do that too. I had to believe it. See, it all starts here. We're back into the mind. It starts here. If you don't believe it, you ain't gonna never achieve it. You have to believe it's gonna happen when it comes to your money. You gotta think it. Remember earlier I talked about being a long-term thinker. You gotta see it, although it's not in front of you. You got to see yourself a millionaire, although you only have $100,000 net worth. Listen, let me tell you this. I'm not going to hold you guys too long. In 2017, I became Smart Money Bro. I didn't just become Smart Money Bro because I had a whole bunch of money. When I became Smart Money Bro, my net worth was right around $150,000, $200,000. That was my net worth when I titled myself Smart Money Bro. It's because everything I was thinking and doing was tied around money. And I said, I do a lot of stuff with money. And me and a buddy said, I do a lot of stuff. Well, just call yourself Smart Money Brother. And he said, don't call yourself Smart Money Brother. That's a little too ethnic. You want to reach all people. And I said, what? It doesn't matter. Bro, Smart Money Bro. Cut off the brother and just be bro. So I said, okay. And I only had a net worth of $150,000, $175,000, $200,000. But I did all the principles that I've been telling you guys about on this channel. The same thing I talk about today on this channel is the same thing I talked about when nobody was watching this channel 2 years ago. Same principles, same thing. The plumb line has not changed, stayed the same. Consistent message about money and foreseeing the future. I had $50,000 of debt in 2017, 18. But I was working towards a plan. I had a plan. I was working towards a written plan to get out of debt, to build my net worth, build my net worth. Next thing you know, 2023, 2024, man, my net worth hits the 7-figure mark. Boom, boom, boom. Now I'm talking about smart money, bro, and I'm really have the fruits to back it up. But before, I was just teaching, talking, and I didn't have a whole bunch of money, but I knew I was on my way. I foresaw it. You got to see it before it happens. If you're the type of person that you can't see it, it's going to be hard for you to change your behavior to get it. Man, let me slow it down. Crabs in a bucket mentality is the worst, right? People keep secrets with the cologne or perfume they wear. Yes, stingy mindsets, selfishness, fear. Good point, Blue Sky. Good point. Yes, Rhonda said, I checked into Mint Mobile and you can keep your old phone. They'll test it and see if it's compatible. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for checking that for us. I appreciate you putting that in the chat. And if you're interested, there's a link in the description box on YouTube, Mint Mobile link. Check that out, guys. Yes, I am an affiliate, a partner with Mint Mobile. Why? Because I like them. Why? Because I use them. Why? Because I appreciate their services, their customer service, how easy it is to use, how good the services are, and I appreciate the inexpensive price. That's why I use Mint Mobile, and that's why I partner with them, right? I appreciate you guys. I'm going to let you go. I've been on here a long time. I told myself this is going to be a 45-minute live. Guess what? Turned into 2 hours. But guess what? I enjoyed every moment of it, right? I enjoy, and I get long-winded, but I appreciate you guys' questions. I appreciate you guys more than you know for being here. I appreciate you guys' support. This channel wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for smart people like you guys, right? And I hope I was able to at least bring something to you to think about, how to think about money differently so that you can stop wasting so much money and you can get better with your money. Simple principles, hard to do sometime, but it's all about discipline. So I appreciate you guys more than you know. And do me that favor, that's solid, and hit that like button for me. For those that left a super chat, I appreciate you. For those that drop comments and information in the chat, so informative. I appreciate you guys for doing that for me as well. Hey, as I always say, I want you to get out, enjoy this Saturday, take a walk, get into your health, do something for yourself, eat right, eat good, and take care of the one body that we have. As I always say, guys, at the end of this, and I appreciate you guys too. Man, thank you, Kwame. Thank you, Marius. Thank you, First Last. Thank you, Mrs. Moore. Thank you, John Hall. Thank you, Blue Sky. Thank you, Marius. Did I say that one time? Thank you, Anna. Thank you guys so much. Corey for being here. Retired 2019. John Hall, Florence Powell, retired. I said you already. I'm going to keep saying you. Colleen, Blue Sky. I think I said Blue Sky. NW, Rhonda. Hey, I appreciate you guys. The best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. Do me a favor. Take care of yourself, but also have the spirit to take good care of other people as well. Until the next video, peace.